What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing you the top 5 legendary weapon farming locations in Fallout 76. I did this exact same video a while ago on Fallout 4 and you guys seem to really enjoy it, so I thought I'd bring it back for this game today. And there's a mixture of things in this video, ranging from specific spawn locations that you can farm over and over again, to certain events that you should keep an eye on because a few legendary enemies can actually spawn in them, and many more as well. And I'm also going to be talking about how you should kind of chain these together to maximize your efficiency when farming for legendary weapons. But anyway, let's jump straight into this with the first one, and this one is, a little bit more tricky for you lower levels out there, but in my opinion it is at the moment the best way to farm for legendary weapons, and that is taking advantage of the nuked locations in Fallout 76. Specifically the White Spring Golf Club and White Spring Resort. Now this could either be from you launching a nuke yourself, or alternatively you can server hop, and oftentimes you'll find other people nuking this spot as well, because it is quite a popular spot, not only for gaining experience because you literally fly up in the levels when you're here, but because of the sheer amount of enemies that spawn when this place is nuked. Like, I kid you not, we've probably fought like hundreds of glowing ones here, with a lot of them being legendary enemies. So you can come out of here with like 20 to 30 legendary items from just this one nuke location. It is really insane. And the best ways that we kind of do this is from kind of chaining around the area. So typically we'd start off at the golf club and we'd lure all the enemies out and then jump onto different locations where they can't hit you, and then you can just wail on them with melee weapons or any kind of variant of weapons that you have. Again, a ton of these are going to be 2 to 3 star legendary enemies, and once you're done with the golf club part, you've killed all the enemies, you've looted all the stuff off them, you can then circle around towards the housing sort of area. There'll be a ton of ghouls there again. Just try and find a spot that you can get into where they can't damage you too much. And then you clear those out there, and then you circle around again all the way to behind the White Spring Resort. You clear those out there, and as you're circling, the enemies are going to keep respawning constantly. So you're literally going to be able to fight like hundreds of these ghouls non-stop. And the rewards for doing so is just absolutely insane. You come out of this with a ton of resources, a ton of good stuff for high level mods and under armors in the late game. You get ridiculous amounts of experience for doing this as well, probably one of the best places to farm experience. And on top of that, of course, you also get a ton of the legendary enemies that you can kill there and farm for their legendary weapons. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only good nuke location. You have, of course, the Scorch Beast Queen, which is a little bit more trickier to take down. You need a lot of high levels there with good loot. But pretty much any location that is nuked on the map, just go there and try to kill as many of the legendary enemies as you can. This is a spot that most people seem to nuke on the game, so again, if you're server hopping, you should have no problem finding it. And in my opinion, it's just one of the best ones out there at the moment. If you are looking for a guide on how to nuke in this game, I will leave it linked in the description below if you guys haven't done that yet. But now let's move on to the next one. Now, of course, this next one isn't anywhere near as difficult as going into a nuke location and fighting off hordes and hordes of glowing ones. So this one is in the Watoga Emergency Services. It's right here on your map. And if you go inside of here, and you go all the way to the second floor, so you got the elevator, then you go up another floor of stairs again. You will have to clear a few enemies out here each time, but usually at the very end of this, there is always a legendary enemy that is going to spawn. And again, this can either be a 3-2 star legendary enemy, sometimes it may be a 1 star. And of course, you can simply go ahead and kill the enemy, loot his body, see if he's got anything that you like. Hope the RNG gods are on your side and you get something good. And once you're done, you can simply back out to the main menu, re-log in again, essentially server hopping, and do the exact same thing again and again and again. And most of the time, a legendary enemy will spawn here, which of course makes this a great location for farming legendaries in general. And even better about this spot as well, if you head all the way to the very top of the building, when you're on the roof, just to the right, some power armor can spawn there as well. So as you're farming this, you can also farm some power armor as well if you need it, so that's just a bit of an additional bonus there. for this specific location. Now again, I will talk about how you kind of chain all of this together to maximize your efficiency here shortly, but moving on to the next one and going back to the White Spring Golf Club here again, even when this location isn't nuked, it is still absolutely crazy for farming legendary enemies. Like when you go here, naturally there is going to be like a horde of ghouls that come out. Again, the way you would typically do this is you can walk inside, walk into a couple of the rooms, basically letting them know that you're there. Then you run back out and wait for the horde to come after you, and then kill them all one by one. On my first run of doing this, I had like 4 legendary enemies spawn here, so that was 4 chances to get a good item. And again, you know, once you've killed all of them, you know, you've looted all their legendary weapons, you will see me like looking around at the different legendaries that I get. RNG wasn't really on my side in this video. I got a couple of good things, but nothing too spectacular, but you get the idea of it. Once you've cleared out the enemies and looted them, you then back out to the main menu again, you relog back in, all of the enemies respawn, and you do the same thing over and over again until you get a weapon that you actually like. Now eventually, I do believe that there is kind of a lock in certain areas, so after like, you know, your 6th or 7th time, you may find yourself not finding too many legendary enemies spawning here. So what you would typically do in that situation is once you're done at the White Spring Golf Club, you would then head over to the Watoga Emergency Services and begin farming there. And again, most of the time legendaries will spawn in both of those locations, but I do believe that after a certain amount of time of you doing this, the game kind of forces the enemies to spawn differently and will kind of calm down on the legendary enemies that you can get to spawn. At least that's my theory on it, and that's the reason why I'm kind of showing you guys different locations that you can go to if you do ever find yourself in situations like that. But that leads us into the next ones, and these are events. There's 2 in particular I do want to mention here. Number 1 is Uranium Fever. This is a random event that can pop up right here on the map for you. And the reason this event is so good is because you can get up to 3 legendary enemies here that all drop decent loot. Some of these legendary enemies can be 3-star, some can be 2-star, but this is one of the best events in my opinion for getting legendary weapons from. And the first part of the event will task you to speak to the foreman. He will then ask you to go down into the mine to initiate the extraction process. This part is very quick. You just run down the mine, you turn a right, and there'll be a terminal up against the wall you can use to initiate that. And from there you run the final part. You have to go through waves of mole miners. There are 3 different waves in total, and at the very end of each wave, a legendary mole miner will spawn in. Now of course, hopefully the RNG gods are on your side and you can get something good, but again, the fact that 3 of these legendaries spawn in at this event, which are quite high levels as well, I do believe they scale somewhere between the level that you're at, is really good in my opinion. So, you know, if you are walking around the map, if you happen to be farming different locations, look out for this event, and if it pops up for you, definitely go to it and do it. And the same goes for the next event as well. This one is known as One Violent Night. It's not quite as good as Uranium Fever, but it is still up there. And this one's a really fun one as well. And basically you're asked to go to the location and make as much noise as you can to attract the Night Stalker. And the Night Stalker is a legendary Wendigo that drops a ton of loot plus a legendary item. Now of course, to make a lot of noise, you can go ahead and activate the jukebox, which will attract the ghouls to it. They will break it if you don't kill them in time, so you can keep repairing it as much as you want. Or alternatively, if you're doing it with friends or by yourself, you can use the music instruments as well to make some noise and attract the Night Stalker. So as you're doing that, ghouls will keep coming towards you, but eventually, once you've reached the bar to the maximum, the Night Stalker will then spawn in. Of course, kill him, loot his body, and hopefully you get something good. And that's just another event that I think is really good in terms of legendary weapons. And that's pretty much it for all of the spots. Now I do want to mention the way that I would typically do this, and I would start off by nuking a location. I know for some of you lower levels out there that can be quite annoying to try and do, so again there will be guides in the description below. There's certain things that can cut a lot of time out of that process, such as if you go onto Twitter or Reddit, somebody would usually put up the nuke codes for that week, saving you a ton of time in which you really only have to get the key card and go down there. Or alternatively again, you can simply keep server hopping and hopefully one of the servers that you join will have launched a nuke at the White Spring Resort. But anyway, I would start off with the nuke's location, clear up all the enemies there, then when that's done, I would probably then move on to the Watoga Emergency Services location, farm that a good amount of times until, you know, my luck's kind of running out and legendary enemies aren't spawning there as frequently. Then I would move on to the White Spring Golf Club, farm that a good amount of times until my luck kind of runs out. And then eventually, while I'm doing all of this stuff, and once I'm farming those two locations and server hopping, I'm also going to be looking out as well for the Uranium Fever event and also the One Violent Night event. And of course, if those do pop up, I would then go to them, farm that way, and that's typically the rotation that I would do when going for legendary weapons in this game. And it's the way a lot of people are now doing it. You're seeing people pop up with explosive legendary weapons, a lot of the two-shot variants as well, and my friend has a couple of great two-shot weapons at the moment that are really good. So I wanted to bring this video to you guys today, just to help you guys out as much as I can with the legendary weapons. You know, I did this back in the day with Fallout 4, the exact same video actually, top 5 legendary farming locations. And back then you guys really enjoyed it, so I thought I'd do it again for this video. I do want to give a quick credit to IMIV2 over on Reddit for the location of the Watoga Emergency Services location. I didn't really know about that as a farming location, and he put up a post over there which allowed everyone to know about it. So credit going out to him for that. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video today and want to see more videos similar to this, be sure to leave a like down below, it's always appreciated on the channel. And a quick reminder that I'm hosting a giveaway for the Tricentennial edition of Fallout 76 for the platform of your choice, and all you have to do to enter that is go over to my Facebook page, it will be linked in the description below, and drop a like on it. The winners will be announced over on the Facebook page in around a week's time, and also I will be hosting weapon giveaways over there as well. Whenever I get like a really good legendary weapon, I may decide to just give it away to one of you guys, so be sure to be active over there, and I should be doing a couple of weapon giveaways very soon, so stay tuned for that as well. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.